Children, next let's go with the count method. So in count method, this function returns the count of the items and count of the items. If the given item is not in the list, it returns 0. So it counts the number of times the occurrence of the item. The function returns the count of the item, and if the item is not existing, it returns 0. So look at the syntax is list dot count of item. Look at the list given, L1 is equal to with 6 elements, and now you are checking L1 dot count of 18. Yeah, it's there in the how many number of times it's occurring. See in this list 18 and 18, 2 times it's occurring, so it is displaying the result as 2. And now the next one is similarly 28. There is no number 28 in the given list, so it is displaying 0. It's again a revision. I am saying already we learned all this in 11th standard. It's a revision 2 part, so we need to listen. So I'm doing this. So the reverse method, the reverse it reverses the item of the list. So you need it for so many programs and all. You need it. See, look at the syntax, list dot and reverse. So it takes no argument and returns no list, reverses the list in place, and does not return anything. We will see the example, then you will be knowing the meaning of this. T1 is equal to one list of item is given, T1 dot reverse. So now you are trying to print T1. What it is happening? It's just reversing the string, reversing the list and displaying. Okay, list dot reverse. So the reverse returns the item of the list. Yeah, this is done in place. That is, it does not create a new list. So only in the existing list it is displaying. You see here, T1 is the original list. After reversing, it's again T1 only. It's not storing this reversed list in some other list. The next one is the sort method. Look at the next one is sorting. The sort method. So in this sorting method, this function sorts the item of the list by default in increasing order, that is in ascending order. Okay, so look at now the syntax list dot sort. For example, T1 is equal to, there is a list given EIQ, again AQP, and T1 dot sort. Now T1 will become AEIP, Q and Q. So like reverse, sort also performs the function and does not return anything So to sort a list in decreasing order using sort, we have to use list dot sort of reverse is equal to true. So we have to use reverse is equal to true. So in that case we can decreasing, or you can sort a list in decreasing order. I think we all have tried all this, but anyway, it's again an example for us. And next one is, we'll be moving with tuples in Python. Tuples in Python. So again, tuples are depicted through parentheses. This is the major difference between defining a list and a tuple, that is round brackets. Examples are, so many examples are given. It's an empty tuple, and a tuple with one member, and tuple of integers. This is tuple of numbers. It includes floating point number as well as 1, 1, 2.5, 3.7, or floating point number, ABC, tuple of characters. Then this is a tuple with the mixed value type. That means all the data types are there in this tuple, particular tuple. A comma 1 and B 3.50. And next one is 1, 2, 3, a tuple of strings. So tuples are immutable. The mainmost thing we have to remember is we have to use parenthesis or round brackets, and the elements of the tuple are immutable sequence. Then creating tuple, again it's to create a tuple, put the number of expressions separated by comma in parenthesis, and see t is equal to empty. So t is equal to parenthesis with value 1, value 2. You have to use the comma operator for separating. This construct is known as a tuple display construct. How to create an empty tuple? Simply you have the tuple name followed by parenthesis. You will have an empty tuple. Then creating single element tuple, t is equal to, within parenthesis write the one element. It displays like this. See here, to create one element tuple, make sure to add comma at the end. We have to create comma at the end. To construct a tuple with one element, just add a comma after the single element. So I have given t is equal to 3 comma. So now what it is doing, 3 comma. When I try to display t, see here, when I try to display, I'm trying, no, so it is displaying 3, the value 3. Yeah, the value 3 is displayed. And then creating tuple from existing sequence. How you are going to, already values are existing, you are going to create a tuple. T is equal to tuple of sequence. T is equal to tuple of sequence. So now let us pass on to the other the example. Consider the following example. Look at the example. T1 is equal to tuple of hello. Now T1 is equal to creating tuple from a string. It consists 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So now your tuple will become, T1 will become like this. Each comma separated elements. So you are making it like this. So T1 you made it as a tuple of a string. And then L is equal to this one. Now tuple of L. So then when you try to display T2, it is becoming as a tuple value. Then creating tuple from keyboard input. Through keyboard also we can form a new tuple. T1 is equal to tuple of input. So you have to give a keyword tuple and then enter tuple element. So you are entering. So now you have given a big number like, but after that when you are trying to display, it is becoming each comma separated element. But most commonly used method to input tuple is eval input. So you can use eval input method for entering elements of the tuple from the keyboard. So eval of input, enter tuple to be added. So print tuple, you entered tuple. So when you execute it, it will work somewhat like enter tuple to be added. It will be like this. Tuple you entered, it will be like this. So now you can even use eval method or the input method to create tuple from keyboard on spot. Okay, next is tuple versus list. We know so many differences. The first one is tuples and list are very similar, yet it has its own difference. First one is similarity. Tuples are similar to list in following ways. First one is its length and its indexing and slicing, membership operators, and the last one is its concatenation and replication operators. We can use like tuples what we did, we can use list what we did, here also we can use for tuples and accessing individual elements. Whereas we'll see the difference in tuples and lists. We have a list L and T, a list L and tuple T. Li is equal to element, it's valid. Ti is equal to element. This is invalid because it's invalid for tuples as you cannot perform item assignment. Item assignment is immutable type. So this is not possible. So there's a major difference in tuples and when compared with tuples and list. Item assignment is not possible in tuples. So this is the thing you have to note here. And let's go with the other things in the next video.